Well, hey everybody. It's Monday, what are we, the 18th day of November 2024. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. Before we get started here, I want to talk about Pluto entering Aquarius tomorrow. I wanted to, I wrote a little something here. It's going to be in Aquarius for the next 19 years. Aquarius is a type of sign. It's both collective and individual in nature, and it allows us to consider who we are as a society and to uplift society through a humanitarian focus. Its energy is visionary and expresses higher consciousness. Certainly not what we're about to enter here, at least in our country, come the end of January. So it may be that, I'll get to that. Pluto, let me talk a little bit about Pluto. Pluto is about transformation and evolution, and it helps dig up and unearth issues that keep us from embracing the collective aspect of self, or the unified consciousness that we're all part of. I think that we've had a tremendous difficulty. There's been a lot of external influences that I think a lot of people aren't aware of that have come in propaganda wise, and it's just this constant through the media, constant pressure on cultivating an us versus them mentality. Instead of seeing the other side of self, we see the other, and we don't like it. And so, well, not we, but some of us anyway, don't like it. And I think that maybe what happened at this election and in the first couple of years going forward here, maybe when we start to see the what really was in play here, I think that it's going to cause a lot of harm, and people are going to understand and get right with their perspective on things. You're going to see a shift toward that, maybe a shift away from the isms that seem to hold us back and keep us seeing everyone else as the other, and which is extraordinarily destructive. And now we're going to be faced with it, and we're going to have to come to terms with that as people, as individuals, and to go within and find out how did we get to that point. How did each person get to that point where they process their life through that lens. And again, I think that it's been external influences, and I think when people realize that and they start to consider, really, what am I upset about? What am I worried about? There's nothing there to be worried about. When they start to understand, and that they've been played essentially and manipulated by external forces, then I think you're going to start to see the more humanitarian side start to emerge with some people that maybe was laying dormant before. It's always there. It's just, can they let it out, And so I think that Pluto and Aquarius, again, being there for the next 19 years, we're going to be seeing some shift in perception here, to the understanding that we're all one, and we go forward together, and not, thinking that everyone else is the enemy and is there to harm us and all of that. No, when it's a few, people in power that are doing that for their own nefarious purposes. And so maybe, I hate to say maybe it needed to happen. I don't think it needed to happen at all, but it did. And now that it did, we're forced in a position now where we can't look away any longer. And so I think that both, again, individually and collectively, this energy of Pluto and Aquarius is going to be extremely transformative, and I think in a positive direction. I mean, Aquarius basically demands that of us, that higher consciousness take the place of ego. So as difficult as the next few years might be, and they will be, I think we're going to come out on the right side of things and move in that direction where it's no longer seeing the other, but the other side of self, and embracing that when we look at other people, instead of judging them so harshly, and and in fear, and fear of somebody that doesn't look like us or from a different place. It's like, oh, they're the enemy. No, they're not. No, they're not. You might have some people that are criminals, but beyond that, no, that's not true. They're our neighbors. They're our family. They're our friends. Period. No matter what the coming administration wants to say that they are, because they're wrong. They're just wrong. So you're going to see, I think, this shift with Pluto and Aquarius in particular, helping us to really come to that understanding and to understand the real truth of things. So anyway, that's enough of that. And this is just kind of a big time with big energy. And, we're just seeing lots of things that seem to be running counter to all of it. And maybe that's the point. So let's go ahead and take a rune here and see what it has to say. To start us out with, we have Kenaz. Kenaz is the 6th rune of the Elder Futhark. It means the torch. I view it as the light of spirit. It's like lighting our way, all right, in higher truth, basically. It can be about revelation and healing and well-being and love and intuition and transformation and awakening. So awakening us to the truth, the higher truth of who we are and who we are to one another. Maybe it's its own little Pluto in Aquarius energy. So let's see what we have here for the Geomancy rune for today. There's fire, there's air. Well, we're looking at Tristitia. Now, Tristitia and Laetitia, its complement. Tristitia is, Laetitia is about joy. And Tristitia is about sorrow and getting stuck there. And again, maybe we need to take a look at that in full clarity of why are we getting stuck there? Why are we getting stuck in the ego keeping us in grief and sorrow and holding grudges and things like that? It's let me find that other thing out of the way there. It's about being secretive and judgmental and condemning and full of condemnation. But it's getting stuck there. I mean, we all go through issues. We all go through loss, and how we deal with it, though, matters. And do we get stuck there? I mean, we've all known people that can't seem to let go of the grief that they're in. And they just seem to just hole up in it. It becomes their whole reality. Well, on the worst end of the farthest end of Tristitia, that's what you're seeing. And so I think that with Kenaz, it's saying let's take a look at that from a higher perspective and see just exactly what is holding you back. What about the ego's hold on you is keeping you stuck in loss and grief that is so profound that it results in anger and resentment and condemnation and everything that it's not a healthy place to be. But it is someplace that the ego is going to try and keep you. And so being able to step outside of that and seeing things from a higher perspective awakens you with the energy of Kenaz to something else. And so times might be scary, but we can't get stuck in the scary part, right? We've got to keep moving forward and seeing the truth, seeing through the light of spirit what the truth actually is of who we are and who we are to one another. Right now, we've got 2 cards from the Major Arcana, so soul archetype cards, and we have 1 from Pentacles. But before we go any further, let's go ahead and do the numerology really quickly. Let's see, we had a 6 for Kenaz. We have a 17 for the Star. We have a 7 for the Chariot. And we have another 7 for the 7 of Pentacles. That's 37. 3 and 7 is 10. 1 and 0 is 1. And so we're going to look at a 1 numerology for the whole reading. 1 is about new beginnings. It's about talent, innovation, leadership. And again, taking the bull by the horns and understanding the reason for why, Tristitia is happening, why you can't get out of those feelings of loss or upset or sadness, grief, all of that. And it's almost like it makes the star reverse. It almost makes it like the star reversed or the chariot reversed, where things are out of balance, where you can no longer be transformed by your hopes and your wishes and your dreams because you're caught up in the Tristitia moment of it all, and you can't let the light in with Kenaz to see that. So let's look at the star. As the 17th card from the major arcana, you're looking at an 8 numerology. 8 is about strength and inner strength. Sometimes when sadness and griefs overtakes you, you really have to have the inner strength to be able to look beyond that and begin to be transformed by your hopes, your dreams, your inspiration, your optimism, by higher insight, by higher intuition, if you will. And to find a balance here, you see essentially the goddess's in her nude form. She's pouring water into the waters of life, the waters of hope and creation and love, in inspiration and insight into the pool and also onto the ground, so that you're grounded in spirit, so you're grounded in higher awareness versus being grounded in the ego that Tristitia is offering. The same way with the Chariot. You're looking at here a sense of balance. You see two of everything here. Two here. You see the balance of the Shiva Lingam here. You see the balanced wings with the sun disk in the center of healing. This can also mean victory, but victory over the ego's need to control, victory over your ability to know when to take the reins and when to drop resistance, to assert yourself, and when to step back and just observe. You see, 7 is a number of balance. It's a number of observation, of letting things settle out. Think the scale. You've got stuff on each pan. You're letting it settle out to see what you have. We're going to see the same thing in the 7 of Pentacles, where you're taking stock of what you have. And do you have enough? Do you need more? But whether you have, and even though this is, let's see, the 17th rune, there's a 7 in there. You're still looking at the inner strength with the 8 numerology to find your balance here. And clearly, when Tristitia is in play, you're not in balance. You're allowing the ego to take over and to be the focus of where you place your attention. You know, in the sorrow, in the grief, in the sadness, in the loss of whatever you're feeling. Getting hung up there, getting caught there, getting stuck there. And so you need that higher clarity to move yourself back into a better balance today. I mean, I don't think this is going to be really any intense reading here, other than to say that I think Tristitia is the issue and Kenaz is the answer. And you're looking at 2 different kinds of balance for sure, with the Chariot and then the 7 of Pentacles, where you see the farmer looking at the grape crop there and trying to figure out, you see all the pentacles there. That's money, that's value, that's worth, and taking stock of what he has. If you want to look at it in terms of material security, you can, but if you want to look at it in terms of being grounded, where is your grounding? Are you grounded in the ego, or are you grounded in higher awareness? And with 2 cards from the major arcana, it's suggesting a soul focus here today. And so that to me indicates higher awareness, coming into some kind of a balance where you can heal whatever's going on inside of you. Let that healing process happen in full clarity. With Kenaz, with the energy of that, illuminating everything, revealing what the truth is, focusing on well-being and transformation, letting that be where you place your attention, so that you can then manifest that and let go of the hurt and the sadness and the grief and all of that keeps you stuck in that position. And you're in such a negative mindset that you can't move out of it. Well, Kenaz clearly says that you can, and that's the answer. To shift your focus away from that, focus your energy, focus your attention into higher awareness, into the soul field that is there to promote awareness and awakening and illumination, and to move you to have provide you the inner strength to move you out of that negative mindset that's keeping you stuck there. And create the balance, the more healthier balance between the two that you need to have. You know, it's fine to be upset about something that's upsetting. That's normal. But when it's over with and it's no longer happening, at some point you have to deal with it. and you have to deal with it in full clarity, and allow the ability to create anew, to be your focus, instead of thinking and ruminating on the past that's no longer happening. You might be dealing with the fallout of it, for sure, but that gives you the opportunity to begin creating a new life and a new perspective and a shift in your awareness, you see. So, in a sense, it expands. The light expands here with Kenaz, and so it really expands into something new. You're being able to create anew, instead of having the present moment be fixed in a past experience, you see. And so, anyhow, with the one numerology here of new beginnings, can also be about awakening. I think that if you're able to shift that Tristisha energy into the Kenaz energy and take that as your focus, then lots of things can happen for you that are better than what you're dealing with right now. So, again, just take stock of what you have. The strength that you have within. There's what you have. There's your material security. There's your emotional security. There's your plans for the future right there in that awareness. So I think that's easy. Still, it's not. If you're really stuck in that Tristisha, you kind of have to climb your way out of it. It's almost like when I was talking about Pluto and Aquarius, Pluto's gonna unearth all of that for you and make you look at it in a way that takes you in a new direction, which is where you're supposed to go. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe this is aligning with Pluto's movement into Aquarius tomorrow. So make the most of it. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I need to go deal with my eye. I don't know what I got in it, but I got something in it, and I was cleaning, and I don't know. I woke up this morning. It was all swollen, so I had to put a tea bag on it and get it to stop being so swollen so I could actually see out of it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys had a good weekend. We got a little snow last night, and it's still on the ground this morning. I mean, just a dusting, but we may get more this evening, so that's going to be fun. First snow of the season. It was bound to happen, though. It always does. I was hoping for December, but apparently not. So anyhow, have a good week, and come back again on Thursday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.